Picture yourself stepping into a casino at night. The lights glow like a neon storm, the reels clatter in a hypnotic rhythm, and for a moment, everything feels alive with possibility. But as you walk deeper into the maze of screens and sounds, you pass machines that, if you knew the truth, you would never sit at. The machines ex-casino workers quietly warn their friends about. The machines that look exciting, feel inviting, and yet almost never give back what you put in. I remember standing on the floor during my first week behind the scenes, watching players crowd around a row of bright, oversized games. They were laughing, spinning, having fun, but every single one of those machines had the exact same flaw. They were designed to take far more than they ever returned. And the players had no idea. Here's the part that kept me up at night. These never-pay machines aren't rare. They're everywhere, hidden in plain sight. And once you learn how to spot them, you'll see the casino through a completely different lens. By the end of this guide, you'll know the warning signs, even before you sit down. Ready to look behind the curtain? 1. The quiet truth behind never-pay machines. Walk into any casino, and you'll notice something strange if you pay close attention. Some slot machines always seem busy, yet the faces around them rarely look happy. The lights flash, the reels spin, the sounds ring out, but the credits keep dropping. And as an ex-casino employee once told me, those machines aren't designed to thrill. They're designed to drain. That line stuck with me, because once you hear it, you start seeing the casino floor differently. Casinos position certain low-return machines in the highest traffic zones on purpose, near the entrances, beside the restrooms, in the walkways where people don't even intend to stop, but end up sitting anyway. These aren't the machines built to create winners. They're built to capture impulse decisions. I once watched a man sit at one of these trap zones machines for less than 5 minutes and burn through $100. No bonuses, no excitement, just slow, calculated loss. But the real secret? These machines aren't labeled. You can't spot them from the artwork or the theme. You spot them from the intent behind their placement. Whenever you enter a casino, walk past the first 20 to 30 machines you see. These are usually the lowest performing spots in the entire building. 2. Why some machines are designed to lose. If you've ever wondered why certain slot machines seem to swallow money faster than others, you're not imagining it. These aren't bad luck machines. They're engineered with a very specific purpose. And once you understand that purpose, you'll start recognizing them instantly. Casinos rely on something called payback economics. Every slot has a long-term return target, known publicly as RTP. But here's the twist. Two machines sitting side by side can look identical, sound identical, play identical, yet have completely different payback settings. I saw this all the time when I worked behind the scenes. A popular game could have one version set at 92% RTP and another at 86%, and most players would never know the difference. Over thousands of spins, that gap is enormous. The more visually complex and feature-heavy a machine is, the more the casino expects it to earn. Those giant cabinets with huge screens, animated characters, bonuses, and multi-level minigames, they cost more to run, so their payback is often lower to compensate. Players think they're getting more entertainment, but they're actually giving up more of their bankroll. I once watched two friends play side by side. Same game title, different cabinets. One hit regular bonuses. The other barely triggered anything. Same theme, different settings. Choose simpler, older-style machines with fewer animated features. They're often programmed with higher returns. 3. The machines built for entertainment losses. There's a category of slot machines that casino workers quietly call entertainment losses. These are the games designed to dazzle you with lights, animations, and mini features, not to actually pay you. You've seen them. Tall cabinets, booming audio, cartoon characters bouncing across the screen, sometimes even chairs that vibrate when you spin. They look exciting, but behind that entertainment value is a simple truth. The more a machine entertains, the less it tends to return. I remember watching guests line up to play one of these giant licensed branded machines, based on a movie, a rock band, a TV show. People love the visuals. But I also remember how rarely those machines hit meaningful bonuses. It wasn't malfunction. It was mathematics. Those expensive themes, licenses, and hardware upgrades cost money, and the casino recovers that cost through lower payback settings. Players think they're paying for fun, but they're actually subsidizing production value. Every button press on these cabinets triggers dozens of behind-the-scenes animations, even when you lose. Those animations aren't free. They're part of the cost structure, and that cost comes directly from your expected return. One guest once asked me, "Why do these big machines feel stingy?" I couldn't tell him the full answer back then. I can tell you now. If a machine looks like it belongs in an arcade more than a casino, assume its payback is lower. 4. The bonus games that pretend to pay. Some of the most misleading machines in any casino aren't the ones that take your money quickly. They the ones that look like they rewarding you, but quietly drain your bankroll over time. These are the machines with flashy bonus rounds that trigger often, but almost never pay anything meaningful. Casino employees call them false excitement machines, and once you understand how they work, you'll never see them the same way again. You hit a bonus. The screen explodes in color. The music ramps up. Characters jump out. Maybe you even get to pick treasure chests or spin a wheel. It feels like something big is coming. But then, you win $5 on a $3 bet. That tiny payout is masked by a huge performance. I watched this play out countless times on the floor, players smiling during the bonus, then frowning when they see the final win amount. Frequent low-paying bonuses make you feel like the machine is active, but mathematically, they reduce the chance of hitting anything substantial. The excitement distracts you from the reality of the returns. I once saw a man hit 6 bonuses in under 20 minutes and walk away with less than he started each time. He thought he was getting closer. He wasn't. If a machine gives tiny bonuses too frequently, walk away. High-frequency bonuses often signal low overall payout potential. 5. The distraction zone, machines that quietly drain you. Every casino has areas where players naturally slow down. Corridors between table games, intersections of walkways, the path to the buffet, the line outside the restrooms. These are what insiders call distraction zones. And the machines placed in these areas? They're almost never the ones that pay well. When I worked in casino operations, I noticed a pattern. Machines located in high-traffic zones were not selected for entertainment quality. They were selected for earning efficiency. People passing by might sit for just a few spins, which is exactly what the casino wants. They don't need these machines to entertain for long sessions. They just need them to take money quickly and consistently. The machines in these zones are programmed with lower volatility and lower return settings. They give tiny hits to make you feel like something is happening, but rarely offer meaningful wins. It's the perfect trap for someone killing time or waiting on a friend. I once watched a couple sit at 2 walkway machines while waiting for their dinner reservation. In 10 minutes, both burned through $40. No bonuses, no excitement, just a steady decline of credits. And these machines keep their seats filled because players assume casino placement is random. It isn't. Avoid machines placed in walkways, entrances, and transitional spaces. These are often among the lowest paying in the building. 6. The spin momentum, machines built to keep you playing. Some slot machines don't just take your money, they take your time. And casinos love these machines because the longer you sit, the more you spend. These are what insiders call spin momentum machines, designed with one goal: keep you locked into the rhythm of spinning, even when you're losing steadily. Here's how they work. These machines use smooth animations, quick reel stops, and upbeat sound cues to make every spin feel fast, light, and effortless. You barely notice the credits dropping because the game gives you a constant stream of micro-rewards, tiny hits, almost wins, scatter teases, or "you were so close" animations. Psychologically, your brain interprets these near misses as progress, even though mathematically, they mean nothing. I once watched a man who said he'd only play $10. 45 minutes later, he had cycled through over 100. Not because the game was exciting, not because he was winning, but because the machine's pacing made each loss feel small and ignorable. It's the same strategy used by mobile games and social media apps. Keep you in motion so you don't stop to evaluate. These machines rarely offer big payouts. Their design sacrifices high wins for more frequent small hits, which tricks you into longer sessions and deeper losses. Count your spins. If you realize you've done 20 to 30 rounds without thinking, you're on a momentum machine. Stand up and reset. 7. The branded slots with the worst returns. If you've ever been drawn to a slot because it features your favorite movie, TV show, band, or celebrity, you're exactly the type of player these machines target. Branded slots are some of the most recognizable games on any casino floor, and they also among the lowest paying. Not because casinos hate fun, but because these machines are incredibly expensive to license and maintain. Every time you spin a branded slot, part of that spin cost is going toward royalties. The graphics, the characters, the voiceovers, the soundtrack, all of that costs money. And the casino recoups those costs in one place: the machine's return percentage. This is why branded machines often have lower RTP than their unbranded counterparts, even if the gameplay seems similar. I once watched a row of players sit down at a blockbuster movie-themed slot right after it launched. The excitement was real. But within an hour, most had cycled through their bankrolls with almost no meaningful wins. The animations were incredible, but the payouts were tiny. One player said, "At least it was fun," but his credits told a different story. These machines are about spectacle, not return. You're paying for the brand experience, not for the odds. If a machine uses a famous name or franchise, assume the payback is lower and bet accordingly, or skip it entirely. 8. The constant action, machines that fake momentum. Some slot machines make you feel like something exciting is happening every few seconds. Symbols flashing, reels shaking, random features triggering, characters jumping onto the screen. These are what insiders call constant action machines, and they're engineered to convince you the game is hot, even when it's quietly draining your bankroll. All that action is a psychological strategy. The machine uses sensory overload to distract you from the actual payouts. Small line hits appear with big celebrations. Scatter symbols land all around the center reel, giving you that almost rush. Random animations flash even when you don't win. It feels busy, but busy doesn't mean profitable. I once watched a woman play a machine that triggered a mini feature every 4 or 5 spins. Little coin tosses, mystery symbols, tiny wheel nudges. It seemed exciting. But when she looked back at her balance, she realized she had played nearly 200 spins and barely hit anything above her bet size. The machine kept her attention so effectively that she didn't notice her credit meter dropping until it was nearly gone. It tricks you into believing the game is active and rewarding, when in reality, it's spreading out tiny wins to mask steady losses. If a machine constantly flashes and teases, but rarely pays above your bet, reduce your session length dramatically, or pick another game. 9. The giant jackpot machines with tiny, everyday returns. We've all felt that pull, the dream of hitting a massive jackpot on a single spin. Machines advertising six-figure or even million-dollar top prizes attract crowds for one simple reason: the fantasy is irresistible. But here's the part most players never understand until it's too late. The bigger the jackpot, the smaller the everyday payouts. Those enormous progressive prizes don't come from thin air. They're funded by lowering the machine's regular return-to-player percentage. In simple terms, every small win you don't get is feeding that giant prize pool. And because the jackpot is so unlikely to hit, most players end up contributing without ever seeing a meaningful return. I once saw a gentleman play a progressive for almost 2 hours, chasing that top prize. The machine kept him alive with tiny hits, but nothing ever climbed above his bet amount. His bankroll drained slowly but steadily. When he finally stood up, frustrated, the jackpot meter hadn't budged enough to matter. That's the typical experience. The chance of hitting the big one is often lower than getting struck by lightning. Meanwhile, the machine's base game is among the weakest on the floor. Big dreams, small returns, every single day. If a machine advertises a huge jackpot, assume a lower RTP and bring a strict budget. Treat it like entertainment, not a winning strategy. 10. The multi-denomination trick that hides low returns. Multi-denomination machines look like a smart choice. You sit down, choose your bet level, pick your denomination, and think you're in control. But here's what most players never realize. Changing the denomination doesn't just change your bet size. It often changes the machine's entire payback model. And the lowest denominations, the ones most players default to, typically have the worst returns. When I worked inside the casino system, I learned something that shocked me. On many multi-denom machines, each denomination has its own internal settings. Penny mode may be set at a low RTP, while the dollar version might have a noticeably higher one. But because the gameplay looks identical, players assume nothing changes. I once watched a woman switch from pennies to nickels out of boredom, and suddenly her bonuses improved dramatically. Same machine, same seat, completely different math running beneath the surface. Casinos know most people stick to penny or nickel mode. They also know those modes earn the highest revenue, so they're often tuned to pay less over time. The game doesn't have to cheat. It just gives its best returns to the denominations fewer people play. The illusion of choice is powerful, and casinos use it well. If you're going to play a multi-denomination machine, check the pay table differences or step up just one denomination. The payout structure often improves immediately. 11. The volatility traps designed to stall your wins. Some slot machines don't drain your bankroll quickly. They drain it slowly, creating the illusion that you're holding steady. These are volatility traps, and they're among the most deceptively dangerous machines on any casino floor. They string you along with small hits and rare bonuses, keeping you emotionally invested while gradually pulling your balance downward. Volatility isn't about how frequently you win, but how the wins are distributed. A high volatility machine may offer life-changing payouts, but scarcely ever hit them. A low volatility machine might award frequent hits, but rarely anything strong enough to push you ahead. The trap occurs when a game's volatility is set in that uncomfortable middle zone. Just enough wins to keep you spinning, not enough to ever feel real momentum. I once watched a man play a medium volatility slot for almost 3 hours. His credits danced up and down, giving him the impression he was in the game. But every bonus he hit paid just enough to keep hope alive, not enough to actually recover losses. When he finally cashed out, he was down more than he realized. He had simply been numbed by the slow pace of decline. Players mistake time on machine for success. The longer you sit, the more they earn. If a machine gives you long sessions without meaningful wins, don't mistake stability for profitability. Walk away before the trap tightens. 12. The visual tricks that turn losing spins into almost wins. There's a reason some slot machines feel close every single spin. Scatter symbols landing on the first 2 reels. Bonus icons flashing just above or below the payline. Characters sliding into place but stopping one notch too high. These near-win animations aren't random. They're engineered psychological nudges designed to keep you spinning. Most players never realize how powerful near misses are. Research shows the brain reacts to an almost win with the same burst of dopamine as a small victory. Casinos and manufacturers know this, so they build games with constant micro-teases. You see 3 bonus symbols, but only 2 land. You feel tension when the last reel slows, even though the outcome was coded long before it stopped. The machine sells you the sensation of being right there, even when it has no intention of paying. I once saw a player lean forward every time the 3rd scatter symbol appeared on screen, even though it hadn't landed once in 40 minutes. "I'm due," he said, but he wasn't. He was responding to the machine's psychological illusion of progress. Near wins cost nothing for the casino to produce, but they extract more spins, more time, and more bankroll than most actual wins. Whenever you feel yourself reacting emotionally to almosts, pause. Near wins are entertainment, not signs you're getting close. 13. The placement hierarchy that hides tight machines in plain sight. If you've ever wondered why some machines seem to pay better in certain parts of a casino, it's not luck, it's strategy. Casinos follow a placement hierarchy, a layout philosophy that puts the loosest, most exciting machines where they attract attention and hides the tightest machines where you'd never think to look. Most players assume casinos scatter slots randomly, but nothing on the floor is accidental. High visibility zones, corners, end caps, sightlines near table games often feature higher performing machines designed to show off wins. When someone hits a bonus there, dozens of people see it. That visibility encourages play. But here's what most players never notice. The tightest machines are placed where wins don't matter. Sidewalls, back rows, dark corners, near ATMs, near food courts. These areas don't need to advertise anything. They exist to absorb casual players who just want to sit and spin. I once watched a group of regulars walk past 3 rows of machines without hesitation to a very specific cluster near the center pit. They understood the hierarchy. They ignored the dead zones. Even more surprising, some casinos intentionally put tighter machines next to high-traffic attractions, like popular table games, because those players aren't there for slots anyway. The machine becomes a revenue sponge. Walk the floor before you play. Look for machines facing high-traffic aisles or positioned at the edges of busy zones. Those have a better chance of being set looser. Have you ever unknowingly played in a dead zone? In the final chapter, We'll tie everything together with a mindset shift that protects your bankroll for life.